Thank you so much. Hi, guys. I'm back for the last time for tonight. Just want to talk to you a little bit more about my conscious collection and let you know what's going on. So, how is everyone? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Glad you guys are back with me. I'm going to talk a little bit about the conscious collection and what that is and what it means to your Black family. I really need you guys to know that this is all about our Blackness and restoring the Black family. That's my passion. That's what I love. And you know why? Because that's what I missed. When I was growing up, my parents got divorced relatively early. I think I was 5 or 6 years old.
Maximum volume.
Sorry about that. When they finally got divorced, and I lived a much different life. But guys, I want you to know something. We are on a positive track to changing things in our community, and that makes me super excited. So I just want to share with you some materials that I've created that will help us to shift the dynamic in our community, because that's, you know, that shift you've been hearing about prophetically for the last God knows how many years. Well, that shift is right now. Okay, so we're gonna get into it in just a second. So tag, share with your friend, and come right back. Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and YouTube. So it doesn't matter where you're joining me at, which social media platform, we are live. Now, one thing you don't hear a lot of people talking about is conscious mind guides for the Black family, right? We hear about programs, we hear about jobs, which we need, all stuff we need. I'm not knocking any of this stuff. So we hear about jobs, we hear about all these different programs. We hear about, all these little things to stop our babies from having babies when they're young. We hear about programs for people who go to prison, and programs for people not to go to prison, and programs for people when they get out of prison. And we're hearing a lot about stuff like that. And that's all fine and good. I'm happy. I'm with you. And then we have another side where we have the church, where, hey, come to church. God will deliver you. He'll heal you. He'll set you free. Shake all those demons off of you. I'm here for that. I'm here for all of that. But in combination with that, I want to share with you my gift of healing, which comes through knowledge. If you know Hosea 4:6, it says, my people are destroyed, toe up from the flow up, always find themselves in poverty, needing help, stricken in bad situations. They are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Will you say that with me? That Hosea 4:6. That Hosea 4:6. Hosea 4 and let me get up enough fingers. I just wrecked that. Hosea 4:6. 4:6. And the thing, sometimes I might have your students in my class. Or I may sub in the class your child is in. But anyway, listen, it's important for us to begin to create this foundation in our families. Like I said, I was a young girl when my family was dismantled, and my dad lived in the house. He had built us from the ground up, and we moved to the hood, to the projects, honey. And it was rough, and it was tough, and it was, it was a lot to deal with, right? And so, but I made it, I survived, you know what I'm saying? And so, but now I want to give us the tools to help us navigate the waters in terms of understanding who we are as Black people and giving us some of these tools back to build within our family, right? Like commitment, like love, like trust, like consistency. What else do I actually list in the book? So it's little lessons in the book for us to learn about these things. So the first book I do want to tell you about is the Legacy Workbook. Now, the Legacy Workbook is all about the Legacy Workbook is all about us building ourselves back up to be consciously aware of who we actually are. So the first chapter is being Black. The next chapter is commitment, then loyalty, consistency, stability, love, and trust. I think this trust and love could be love and trust. Then further down in the book, I'm going to help you create a family crest covenant, a family covenant, and then build a family crest. So this book is a really good tool. Every church on the planet needs every book I'm going to talk about tonight. You know why? Because every family on the planet needs every book I'm going to talk about tonight. And I'm not just saying that because I wrote the book. I'm saying it because, like I just said, I came from a family where the absent father thing was a real thing. Like dad skipped out on us. He did his thing. God bless his soul. He's still here. You know what I'm saying? Love a daddy. We got a good relationship. But he skipped out early and lived his own life. And so, that's what he did. And it left us in the balance. Like I said on my other show, by the way, I'm Kathleen Harriet, your conscious coach, author, speaker, chosen educator, and writer. Like I said on my other live, though, when dad left, not only did he leave my mom, which I'm sure she was hurt, her marriage was dissolved, but I ain't here to speak on them. I can say the same thing about my marriage. But we don't realize that when we leave, not only are we leaving a person to be a single parent, but we're also leaving them to carry the weight by themselves. What I mean by that is a lot of times we don't realize the simple things, like when your child comes home from school, you're not there. They may need you to talk to you about bullying or how they feel that day, or to just kind of get their mind in a good space. You know what I'm saying? Or just to put a smile on their face. Well, only mom is home, right? Because it's a single parent home. 73% of African American homes, more than 70%, I don't know the exact number now, but more than 70% of African American homes are single parent homes. That's just a fact. Don't shoot the messenger. That's just a pure fact. And so if more than 70% of our homes are single parent homes, we need to change that. Okay? So this book, the purpose of the legacy workbook, however, is to develop our conscious minds in terms of how to look at ourselves as Black people, and also how to return some of the things that we need in our household back into our household. The glare off my glasses getting on my nerves. So how do we return some of those things, characters that we need to see, behaviors that we need to see, those mental shifts that we need to see? How do we return those back into our households? Because love, in the Bible refers to it as charity, begins at home. So we have to start to build up the family at home first, right? So the first book, again, like I said, is the Legacy Workbook. In the Legacy Workbook, you are going to find, like I said, chapters or lessons based on the things that I just named. Commitment, being Black, number one, commitment, loyalty, consistency, stability, love, trust, and creating a family. You'll create a family covenant and build a family crest. Now, being Black. When I started the chapter being Black, what I'm talking about is your brown skin, being Black in America. I talk about how they broke that down and branded brown skin a symbol of disgrace, mockery, lack of intelligence, genius, and smarts. And then next, the majority race, which is white, made it okay, or should I say lawful, to oppress, abuse, and antagonize people of color. Okay, our lives were disrupted as the colonizers forcefully separated us from our rich culture and heritage. Understand they set us free, but they regret this action. Yes, we were freed 400 years after slavery, but oppression, discrimination, and racism still exist. And I continue to talk about those things. How I broke the chapters down, I broke the chapters down to look like, look, because I'm reading this on the screen, and hopefully I won't look too crazy to y'all. So how I broke this down was in each chapter you have the lies, which is what I just read, and it has a little bit more to it. And then the second part of each chapter is the fact, and the third part is the truth. So let's get a little bit into the fact for being black. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but hey, the fact is being black was never a death sentence or the reason we were slaves. We were slaves because in a non-violent world where humans worked hard to develop skills and systems in a progressive manner, some chose to do the lesser and weaponize themselves. Then they violently captured and forced unwilling, intelligent human lives into their treacherous, poverty stricken environments, stealing wealth from the victims, such as gold, silver, fine linen, textiles, diamonds, rubies, and so much more, stealing their sense of being black, their commitment, their loyalty, their consistency, stability, love, and trust. You do realize these are things that we lost in the slavery era. There were more things lost than just time. We lost our heritage. We lost our culture. We lost our love for one another. We lost our loyalty, our commitment, our consistency, our stability, our love. There was in trust. It was so much lost in the slavery era. And so the combination of human existence, which creates the tapestry of a well put together family. That's what we lost. See, we were not slaves by choice, as Kanye West so abhorrently stated. We were kings and queens minding our business on our land, enjoying the riches and day to day living in Africa. So I kind of break it down that way because I want us to be able to distinguish what is real versus what's being taught to us and what has conditioned our minds. And then I go on to the truth. The truth is, we are intelligent, innovative. We know this because of the trade and exchange markets of economic wealth and stability present in Africa prior to ever seeing white flesh. Our engineering, math, scientific talents were already established. So let me be clear. Let me make this short and sweet. We are the embodiment of all God is: beauty, genius, innovation, inspiring, transcending, architects, agriculturalists, business owners, landowners, franchise owners, college graduates, and more. We are husbands, wives, the seed of God. That's why you have to get this book. If you want to experience that mental shift, that true mental shift that black people need to experience, besides just the hallelujah and I'm living my best life. See, we live it, that's how we live. We live between God and living our best life. And so we have those who, like I said, they're like, hallelujah, thank Jesus, God is everything, da 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 da. And I live that life, I love that life. And then we have the other group of blacks over here. I'm living my best life, ain't going back and forth with you. What about who we are at our core? What do we bring to the table when you talk about black families and black heritage? What are we actually presenting? What are we actually bringing to the table? I hear what you're saying out of your mouth. I get what you're trying to deliver to me, but between what you're saying and what is actually being captured in data and statistics, I see a difference. You know what I'm saying? There's some difference there. And so it's really because we're really not at the core who we need to be as black families. And so this book, the Legacy Workbook, and that was just the first chapter. The chapters are not long. It's a 40-page book. It's a mind-shifting book. It's not meant to go deep. It's not meant to go hard, but I guarantee you it's going to get down to your core of who you are, and it's going to create a mental shift in your mind. It's going to paint a different picture of who you are as a black individual in America. It's going to provide that mental shift that your whole family needs. So in the book, I tell you, get a notebook for each person in your family. Every book I write, go ahead on and buy you a notebook because you're going to get lessons. You're going to get mind transformation. You're going to be elevated in your mind and in your conscious thought. So we just won't be running around here sounding like loud sounding cymbals, but not having any depth, any real depth to our lives. So the book, the Legacy Workbook, that is what that book is all about. What I love about it is as you continue to read and you go from chapter 1 being black, at the as you go through chapter 1 of Being Black, one of the things I ask you to do is to choose your precious stone or your gem, and also your metal, and to choose one from our motherland, which is Africa. I do that because part of your assignment in that lesson is to, and each lesson I give you a little Google mission, right? Something for you and your family to do together. You'll never forget this. You'll never, ever, ever forget this. So you're gonna go on a Google mission, and I ask you to research Mansa Musa, and I also ask you to choose your gemstone, and then I give you an assignment to watch Blood Diamonds. That's all in the first chapter, right? And why do I do that? Because you have to experience a mental shift. You have to really, 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 really see who we are versus who they said we were, versus who we need to become at this moment in time. And so all of that is in chapter 1 of this book. Not a long book, but I'm telling you, God created me to be the person that I am because I'm able to bring those mental shifts like that. And so really you got to read this book. I'm amazed at this book. I'm going through this book for the second and third time because it's going into publishing. I'm a self-publisher, but I have to go through the book even after I hire somebody to go through the book, just to make sure the wording and everything is good before I put it into print. So it should be ready by this weekend or by September the 1st. I don't think September the 1st is this weekend. It's pretty close, but I don't think it's the exactly this weekend. Let me look. Give me a second here. Let's see. September the 1st is next Tuesday. It's Tuesday. So it should be ready by then. So that's the first book. So it's the first chapter, and then I break it down into the lies, the facts, the truth, and then I give you a little assignment, and then I say know your history, and I drop some little nuggets right there, and then you go on to the next chapter. When I tell you that this book should bring your family closer together, create lasting bonds, wake up your conscious mind, deliver you enough content for you to have a mental shift, I'm telling you, that's how real this book is. It's just good. All right. And so this is a book that every Black community needs. Everybody needs this book. Your house needs this book. Your church needs this book. Your organization needs this book. Your group needs this book. I don't care if you're sisters or brothers or uncle and nephew, or I don't care. Get this book. You can pre-order it now, but it will be available on Amazon within the next couple of weeks. So that's the Legacy Workbook. It's not on Amazon yet, although all of the rest of my books are already on Amazon. So if you're looking for any of my other books that I'm going to bring up later on in this broadcast, all of those books are on Amazon. So you don't have to go out. Now you can order them directly from me, which is okay. I'll ship them to you. But all of these books will be available on Amazon. Look at my cute little Amazon pictures. I like that one better. All right. So that's the book. That's the Legacy Workbook. Let's get into the next one. This book right here is Things I Wish I Knew. Now, Things I Wish I Knew. Ladies, is that not a gorgeous cover? The cover is bomb. So that's the cover of Things I Wish I Knew. Now, this particular book right here is all about conscious mind development in terms of the things that you will experience in life. This is talking about your relationships. And when I say relationships, I'm not talking about sexual. I'm not talking about you and the opposite sex or whatever. I'm talking about friendship. I'm talking about mother-daughter relationship, father-son, the family relationship, your work relationship. All types of relationships are in this book. And I had to go back and look at this book and was like, wow, that's a lot in one book. So in this book, I give you real life stories. I have to tell you this. When I first wrote this book originally, the publishers that I submitted the book to told me, you have to get permission to tell people life stories, right? You just can't write about people and their life stories without permission. And I went, they're all fictitious. They're all fictitious. Sorry, that's my manufacturer from overseas. But anyway, I'll get with her in just a second. So anyway, I'm like, no, these are all stories that I wrote, right? These are all stories that I've written. There's nothing real about these stories except they are real because I've lived through what you're going to see in some of these stories, and other people have lived through what you're going to see in some of these stories. They're so real. And I did that because I wanted us to. Well, one of the stories in the book is real, and I did get permission, written permission, but I don't tell you which one it is. So anyway, one of them is real. But anyway, you read this book, and what it does, it really just enlightens you, right? And don't we want to be enlightened? What sucks worse than living through life and having this horrible experience, or an experience you could have just simply avoided had you known, had you had the right tools? What sucks worse than that? Like being a young woman, especially. Like, what sucks more than going through something that you straight up necessarily didn't have to go through? I'd rather just skip that, right? I'd rather just not even have that little part of my life interrupted by nonsense. And I don't know if people understand it like that, but that's the reality, right? We don't want to have all these little situations in life where we experience things that we could care less. We don't even need it. So that's what this book is all about. It's about missing all of those times in life where you were in some kind of goofy relationship that you didn't even care for. It talks about ministry. It talks about racism. It talks about religion, marriage, adultery, healthy relationships, domestic violence, the first signs of domestic violence, murder, love, college is like mentioning college is in this book. Like everything's in this book. So things I wish I knew is just an awesome, 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 awesome book. So grab that book as well, right? Don't look, it's on Amazon. Like I said, just go to good old Amazon, put your order in. They're delivering the book now within like 2 weeks. COVID got everything slow. So, they got to put the order in. It's got to go to the printer. Then the printer got to print it and then they got to ship it. So, a few little steps to that. So, but anyway, that's a good book too. Okay, moving right along. We're moving along nicely here. The next book I want to tell you about is Hurt People, Help People. Now, what I saw tonight that people were honoring Aaliyah, right? So they're saying all this about Aaliyah. They're honoring Aaliyah. And she was, a good artist as far as I know. I mean, I don't know a whole lot about Aaliyah, but I know some of the things that happened in her life. But she was, by all intents and purposes, she was a good artist. She was a good singer. And she was young, right? She was, give me just a second here. She was very, very young. And one of the things that, oh, okay. So one of the things that struck me was that, hey, that's the wrong picture. How did I get up there? Give me a second. I go back. This one, hurt people, help people. One of the things that people don't talk about is she was hurt, right? Because we all know R. Kelly married her when she was just the tender age of 15 years old. 15 years old. Had a false document drawn up, all kinds of stuff. We're not gonna get into R. Kelly and all of that. But I wrote this book because me being a victim myself, a person who lived through sexual abuse, sexual trauma, but found myself an overcomer, found myself somehow able to let go of the tragedy in terms of not being bound by the tragedy, in terms of not being, like I'm not sitting up getting drunk and drinking booze and being promiscuous anymore and doing all the stuff I used to do because I was living with that trauma. And trauma, look, we all talk about it now. Oprah, Ellen, Common, Charlamagne the God. I don't know who, Mary Tyler Moore, Tyler Perry, everybody. talk about their childhood trauma, their childhood sexual abuse. You'll hear people talking about, you can't trust this uncle or that uncle. And we talk about it like it's nothing, right? But in real life, that is some hurtful, okay? That's some hurtful stuff. And so, but I've learned to manage, I've learned to overcome it, I've learned to just kind of navigate life in spite of my past. And so, because of that, I wanted to give back. I want, they always say hurt people hurt people. I want to say hurt people help people in my case. So hurt people help people is that book. It's that book that, look, quite frankly, everybody needs this book. And I'm going to tell you why. The reason why is because over 60% of African American females will experience some type of sexual trauma or an attempt before the age of 18. That's 60%. Now, along with that, over 40% of that number will experience it before the age of 12. Now, a lot of you might think, well, I'm going to talk to my daughter and I'm going to tell her if anybody ever touch her, she's supposed to tell. I'm going to talk to my son and say, son, if anybody ever touch you, you need to come in here and tell. Well, guess what actually happens? Okay, that we don't really understand. 88% of people who are molested never even tell. Most people wait until they're in their 40s to actually tell. It's very, very uncommon for a victim to tell. Unfortunately, it's super uncommon for a victim to tell that they have been molested or raped. Even grown women who suffer rape, even college students who suffer rape or some type of sexual assault, they don't even tell. So it's one of those things where I said, you know what? Let me give my people a tool. Let me give them something that can actually help them. Let me not just talk about my experience. And I love your sympathy. I love your empathy. I love your Kathy. That should have never happened to you. I love that. But going further than that, I said, let me give them a tool that can help their family to prevent it or at least report it, right? Because if 88% is not even reporting it, we need something to help us report. So if you go to my page, TBB Contact 3, that's TBB Contact 3. Let me see if I can get something out off of here so I can add something. Give me a second here. All right. So if you go to my page, TBB Contact 3, I'm going to try to upload the logo so you can see what it looks like. And you can actually get the letters right because this Tyrone, baby, Contact 3. That was bad, wasn't it? I shouldn't even use that. So I said, talk to me, babies. Contact 3. I want my babies to talk. I want our babies to talk to us and not keep it a secret and not hold on to it until they're adults. I think this is a good one. Let me see. I just saw it. Let me go back. Boom. Okay. All right. So if you see this logo, which is on Instagram, Facebook, now it's just going to be sitting on my face, Jesus. So if you see that, TBB Contact 3. That is my actual logo. That's on Instagram. That's on Facebook. That is my page where you can actually go and I upload stuff all the time. The actual app, because the app is in the book, right? But also the app is on Instagram, Facebook, I think Twitter, because TBB Contact 3 has a Facebook page, has Instagram, and has Twitter. But I know for sure it's on Facebook and Instagram. So if you go there, you can go download the app. Now, let me tell you something that's so cool about the app. When you download the app from TBB Contact 3, which you can, like I said, you can find it in the book, Hurt People Help People. Well, when you download that app, you're going to get this free app. This free app actually comes with what I call reporting cards. So one card lets you describe the person. One card lets you tell where it happened at. One card lets you mark on the body to say what happened or what body part was used or touched or whatever. And it also, guess what I had just included on the cards, guys? I just included police engagement. Yes, because that is so important to our community as well. So not only will you get the book in terms of sexual assault, sex trafficking, how it happened, where it happens, how to identify predators, and all of that. But you're also going to get a tool to help your children report immediately. Immediately. Like they can text you, they can screenshot it, or whatever. I think it's amazing. Nothing like this on the market. Buy from a Black woman, is all I'm saying. This book is powerful, it's needed, it's good. Hurt people, help people. Now this is the last book I'm going to show you from the Conscious Collection. These are all books written by me. I'm a self-publisher. I literally have copies of the book. I've reviewed them all. One of them has a couple of errors, but guess what? It's ready. So this is Things I Wish I Knew in live and in person. This is her. The lighting always, you can't see anything. Oh, there you go. So that's Things I Wish I Knew live and in person. Right. Okay. That's that. Here's the book. Okay. And there she is. That's the front and that's the back. See my little picture down at the bottom? It's your girl. All right. This is the other book that I was telling you about. Hurt people, help people. Ooh, look at that cover, child. Do not play. I do not come to play. That is my name, self-published. This is the back of the book. There's that logo, guys. TVB Contact 3. Okay. Find it on Facebook. Oh, Lord have mercy. So much stuff in here. Identifying possible predators, rehearsing appropriate and inappropriate touch, knowing and respecting the body, prevention and preparation, the voice of empowerment, what this book changes, where I wrote this book, all the links, setting boundaries. Oh, God. You won't believe how good this book is. You won't. You will not. This book is good. So get that available where? On Amazon. And then the book, I think I'm talking to you about now. So You Think You Want to Have Sex. Conscious Mind Guide to Increase Sexual Responsibility, written by who? By me. So, guys, these are the books, all written by me. I'm a self-publisher. I'm doing the work. This is what our community needs. We need real resources to help build up our community. Guys, it's not enough. It's not enough to. Why do we have programs to help our children after they done messed up? That's what we do. America, with its racist behind, they have all the books and programs you need to help you after you mess up. Because you're really at that point in quite the conundrum, right? You're in quite the situation after you mess up. Okay, you're basically in survival mode. And if you don't figure out something quick, you're just going to slip into that funnel and be a little poverty-stricken person. All of these books are preventative measures. They're conscious mind development books. It's made, they're all written to make us think, 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 think. Process information, process information, process information. Look at a situation and calculate what result will I get if I do this behavior. That's the purpose behind all of the books. We don't, look, in our community, we don't need another novel. We don't need any more entertainment. I can't tell you what to do now. That ain't what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to just get your mind to just click. We don't need any more entertainment, right? We need to learn. We need to empower ourselves. We need to be rich in knowledge. Remember that Jose 4 and 6 I was telling you about? Okay. Back to this book, So You Think You Want to Have Sex. Listen, I listened as T.I. laughed and giggled as he said, oh, well, my 15-year-old son is out there having sex, watch out, ladies. I mean, honestly, I know it kind of hurt him too that his son was having sex, or he said he was having sex. And he said he was using condoms and stuff like that. But T.I. was like, look at your son. And then T.I. actually said now, T.I. said, well, one thing about it, he can't bring any babies home. Okay. But T.I., that means you got a whole granddaughter out there who is not getting the love, attention, affection, emotional balance, spiritual balance, financial balance. and everything that she needs. Now, she'll have the financial piece, but there's still an emotional piece, there's a mental piece, there's a spiritual piece that she will be missing. That's just facts on facts. And so this book talks about, well, if you're going to give your 15-year-old son a condom, I got a question for you, mom and dad. Who is that 15-year-old going to have sex with? It's going to be somebody's 15-year-old daughter, 15, 16-year-old daughter. He ain't going to go out there having sex with 17 and 18 and 19 and 20-year-olds. Is he? At 15, 16, 17? That's what he doing. That sounds like TBB Contact 3. That sounds like sexual assault and sexual abuse. So we have to be careful. All these lessons that we've been teaching our children may not be the right lessons, right? And so this book, So You Think You Want to Have Sex, is all about having those conversations with your children to help them understand. Sorry, my hands always be ashy. Why they shouldn't be doing that. So this is the book, So You Think You Want to Have Sex. Run through some chapters right quick. Which one did I not go through? Things I wish I knew. So You Think You Want to Have Sex? Woo! Why should we lead? Talks about why the parents should be the leaders in their home in a conversation about sex. And how our children struggle. Our children struggle differently, right? Because our children, we have the race that's inundated with sexual innuendo. They're every time you look up, booties is bouncing. Every rap song is talking about sex, drugs, liquor, and screwing. I mean, that's the melody, that's the lyrics, that's what's hitting, that's what's popping, that's what they doing. So every song from Renegade to Old Town Road to WAP to all of it, it's all sexually suggestive, right? That's what they doing. Baja Bank with Chance the Rapper, she's talking about coochie, straight up coochie. That's what the song is about. Getting the bag, okay? I'm just telling you, this is why we should lead our families, because they're going to pump their message nonstop. As a preventative measure, we need to be having these real conversations with our children because they are being pressured to have sex from all angles. It is what it is. And so chat is open if you want to make a comment or ask a question. The beginning of war, I talk about how as they are becoming teenagers, how they look at it versus how we look at it, and most of the time we're not even paying attention. We just living our life trying to make a paycheck. Who has weight? So in this chapter, I explain to them how not to add weight to their life. Like you already struggling, your mama already struggling, she already a single parent. I talk about how we don't want to end up dispersing the money in the home. I showed you guys that earlier. I can pick up my little thing right here and show you again. Okay, this is the family. This is the family, and this is the family's money right here. Got to move this around. This is the family, and this is the family's money right here. Okay, well, when look John get pregnant or whatever happened, the money then, you see that that's not a percent sign. That's not a percent sign. That's a dividing sign. So what it says is when Cheyenne gets pregnant, instead of the money going to the house, to buy to finish paying for the house, to save for her college education. Like I said, mama might be a CNA, or she might be a LPN, or she might be a RN. But if she was able to save her money, maybe you could go to school to be a doctor. But if we're having kids too early, we're not married, we 16, 17, 18, 20 years old, didn't even finish college, the money that would be going to the house and to your education is then divided. And then that money has to go to what? Baby models, baby milk, babysitting, a car, all kind of stuff that we weren't ready for. So why don't we wait until we're ready? It's in this book, child. I break it all the way down. And I help you because at the end of each chapter, there are exercises. There are things that you go together. There's some mapping that you have to do, all to build your conscious mind. So your children, your family can be the family that's making better choices. And that's impactful. And effective. So guys, I just wanted to share with you guys tonight all of the books that are a part of my conscious book collection. All will be available on Amazon as of September the 1st. You can purchase every last one of these books. You can actually purchase them now, and I will ship them to you. Three are available on Amazon as we speak, whereas a few, one, the Legacy Workbook, it'll be available by September the 1st. The rest of them are already on Amazon. So, all I'm saying is if we really want to experience this shift and go in a different direction, like we be talking about, what's going to happen mentally? Because guess what? They can give us as much money as they desire to give us with reparations, which I believe we're going to get. But what type of mentality will we have if they do make that choice? What type of mentality will we be ready? Will we be ready to make the moves we need to make, or will we still be stuck in that old mentality? And that's what we really, really have to think about. Breaking the cycle and breaking the curse. And God told me something a long time ago. He said it's not so much of a curse as it is a choice. Generational choices, generations of poor behavior, generations of dysfunction. And because of that, we keep finding ourselves in generational poverty. So I shared all these books with you. This is what I call the Conscious Collection, the Conscious Book Collection. You can find all of this on my website at khconsciouscoach.org. Make sure you share this video with your family and friends, your church, your pastor. Share it with your pastor. Tell them we need these books at our church. We need 5 sets of these books at our church. Pastors, you got more single women in your church than anything else. You need all of these books in your church. I'm telling you, you need these books. So this is the Conscious Book Collection. You can find it, like I said, at my website, khconscious.org. I am Kathleen. I'm chosen by God, honey. You can't do nothing about this. Bless them. Chosen. I'm an educator, author, speaker, and writer. And this is all, guys, believe it or not, this is all about us returning to the throne. I take that very, very seriously. I take family very, very seriously. It was because of my lack of family structure that I suffered the things that I suffered in life. It's because of the lack of fathers in the home, the lack of 2 parents in the home, that we suffer a lot of things that we do suffer, aside from racism. Because racism is kicking our butts too. But let's fix us at the core, because it's our time to break away from every curse. If we can get this little part together right here, if we can start rebuilding our families from the inside out, we'll be more effective and more productive. And that's all I want for us. If you do want to do Cash App, you can hit the Cash App. It's the $ KV product, the $ and then KV product. You're going to see, I think, Queen Invention or Invention Queen. If you want to I always make sure it's the person I'm trying to send money to before I do a whole Cash App. So I'll send like $1. I'll send $1 and be like, is this you? And I'll give them time to respond. Yes, it's me. And then if it's them, I'll send the money. That's how I use Cash App. I don't just trust the first thing that pop up. You can be sending money to anybody. So thank you for joining me while I went through explaining my books. You guys have a great night. I talked to you tonight about the Conscious Collection. Told you can find them on my website. And I am super excited because I know we want to manifest greatness. And this is the road to greatness through our conscious books. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. Thank you for sharing, tagging a friend. Thank you so much for telling your pastor, your group, your school. Make sure you tell your school you want these books. Schools buy books too. Make sure you tell your school you want these books in your library. Matter of fact, I have one of my books in the library in the Cincinnati branch. So libraries, your city library takes books too. So ask your city library, ask your church or whatever group you belong to, and ask your If there's any kids on here, I was going to say ask your mom and dad. But these books should be a part of what's in your house. They should be a part of what's in your church. Okay? I'm excited. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. But thanks for joining me tonight. I'm going to let you guys get off of here. And you guys have a great night. Thanks for joining me. This is Kathleen, your conscious coach. Have a good night.